こんにちは、ジャパニーズアーモンのミサです。Hey guys! Today I'm going to teach you how to use てあげる、てくれる and てもらう。So I've already made a lesson on the differences between the verbs あげる、くれる and もらう. So if you haven't watched that, please go watch that first. Also, if you haven't learned the te form, it's a bit pointless to watch this video. So please go watch my lessons on the te form first, then come back. Anyway, if you have seen my video on how to say thank you properly in Japanese, you might recognize this てくれる because when you want to say thank you for doing something for me, you always use this てくれる form with the word ありがとう. So for example, when you want to say thank you for teaching me, you'd say 教えてくれてありがとう。教えてくれてありがとう. So if you have seen the video on the differences between あげる and くれる, you know that くれるis used when someone gives me, the speaker, something, right? Like you usually say giver が something をくれる. Then that means the giver gave me something, right? If you want to, for example, say my mom gave me a computer, you'd say お母さんがパソコンをくれた informally and お母さんがパソコンをくれました formally. But for example, you want to say my mom bought me a computer. You would use this てくれる and say お母さんがパソコンを買ってくれた。お母さんがパソコンを買ってくれた。So both sentences are similar. お母さんがパソコンをくれた。My mom gave me a computer and お母さんがパソコンを買ってくれた. My mom bought me a computer. So when someone does something for you and you appreciate that, you usually use this form てくれる. If you don't and just say お母さんがパソコンを買った, then this just means my mom bought a computer. You didn't know who she bought it for. Then you might be thinking, can we just say お母さんが私にパソコンを買った? Because you can use this ni particle to show who the speaker buys something for. But this is not natural at all. Or even if you use the word のために, like someone のために is how we say for someone, like for the sake of someone. Like 友達のために, then that means for my friend. But again, お母さんが私のためにパソコンを買った still sounds unnatural. Like Japanese people wouldn't speak like that. It does make sense. So people won't correct you probably for saying that. But it's definitely more natural to say お母さんがパソコンを買ってくれた. This way you don't even have to say 私. By now you know that we hate to hear the word 私 too many times, right? So お母さんがパソコンを買ってくれた or formally お母さんがパソコンを買ってくれました is how Japanese people say my mom bought me a computer. So as you can see, 買って is the て form of the verb 買う to buy, 買う. That's why I said at the beginning, if you haven't learned the te form yet, this video is not worth watching really, because you can't make this form without knowing the te form. So 買う, all the う, つ, る ending verbs should have small つ plus て, right? So 買う, 買って. So for example, another verb to meet, 会う also has the う ending. So 会う also becomes 会って when you want to make the te form, 会って. So if you want to say thank you for meeting me, you can say 会ってくれて ありがとう。会ってくれてありがとう。So first, 会ってくれる is someone meets for me, for the sake of me. Like someone meets me and I appreciate that. 会ってくれる。And to connect with the word ありがとう, thank you, you have to also change くれる into the te form. So you say 会ってくれてありがとう. Double te form. This is why the te form is so important. 本当に大事. So I said うつる ending verbs would have small 2 plus te. So to ending verb, for example, 待つ to wait. If you want to say thank you for waiting for me, you'd again put the verb 待つ in its te form, then add くれてありがとう. So 待つ becomes 待って right? It could also mean wait. 待って and then you say 待ってくれる when you want to say someone waits for me and I appreciate that. 待ってくれる. It's like someone giving me a favor. So that's how you should remember. Like くれる means someone gives me. They are giving me a favor. So 待ってくれてありがとう. Thank you for waiting for me. 待ってくれてありがとう. So うつる る ending. So when I said うつる ending, this る ending is not the いる or える ending verbs. I meant like ある、うる、おる ending verbs. So verbs like 作る to make or 撮る to take, or especially if you say 写真を撮る, that means to take a picture, right? These verbs would have the small 2 plus te ending as well. So if you want, for example, say my girlfriend made me dinner. Again, you want to say てくれた for someone did something for me, like someone did something nice for me. So 作る to make becomes 作って right? 作って So 作ってくれる means someone makes for me. Like お母さんが毎日ご飯を作ってくれる。お母さんが毎日ご飯を作ってくれる。My mom makes food for me every day. My mom cooks for me every day. But for my girlfriend made me dinner, you want to say 彼女が for my girlfriend, 彼女が and then dinner you say 晩ご飯晩ご飯 So you say 晩ご飯を作ってくれた晩ご飯を作ってくれた If you want to say like my girlfriend made me curry for dinner, you'd say 彼女が晩ご飯にカレーを作ってくれた彼女が晩ご飯にカレーを作ってくれた And if you want to make this sentence formal, you just change くれた into くれました So you say 彼女が晩ご飯を作ってくれました And you're gonna say someone took a picture for me, someone took a picture of me and I appreciate that. Like you asked a stranger on the street to take a picture of you and want to say, oh, that person took a picture of me and I really appreciate that. Or that person took a picture of me and that's nice of him. You again would want to say くれる So for example, a stranger, we say a person I don't know. So when you want to say I don't know, we say 知らない知らない or 知りません知りません formally. I've already made a lesson on the differences between 知らない and わからない or 知りません and わかりません So please check that out if you don't know the differences. But anyway, 知らない人 is how we say a stranger. Literally, a person I don't know. So 知らない人 a stranger が写真を撮ってくれた知らない人が写真を撮ってくれた And that means a stranger took a picture for me. A stranger took a picture of me and I appreciate that. So I said that this could be used when I asked someone to take a picture of me. But 写真を撮ってくれた could mean that they offered me to take a picture instead of me asking them. So when I want to put the nuance of I asked them and they did it for me, I would actually use てもらう, てもらう. So もらう means to receive, right? And when you say someone に verb てもらう, it means I have someone do something for me. So instead of 知らない人が写真を撮ってくれた, I can also say 知らない人に写真を撮ってもらった。知らない人に写真を撮ってもらった。That would imply that I asked that person to take a picture of me and then they did it and I really appreciate it. So just like I explained in the previous video, when you say someone に something をもらう, the subject is still I, 私. So 私は is omitted, right? Like, so it's actually 私は someone に something をもらう to mean I receive something from someone. And also the に particle here is used like from someone. So the に particle usually indicates the direction to, like 日本に行く. I go to Japan. We would use someone に something をもらう, like I receive something from someone. So it's the same for someone にてもらう. Someone に expresses who did something for me. So 知らない人に写真を撮ってもらった doesn't mean I'm the one who took the picture for that person. It means that stranger took a picture for me. So earlier we had the sentence お母さんがパソコンを買ってくれた. My mom bought me a computer and I appreciate that. And this could mean that my mom bought it without me asking her. Maybe it was a surprise for me. Like maybe I always said I wanted the computer but I didn't really ask her. Maybe I asked once but it's not like, please mom buy me a computer, and then she went to buy it. It's more like she knew I wanted one and she got it for me without me having to ask. I mean, it could mean both though. It could be that I asked her and then she got it. Whilst if I say お母さんにパソコンを買ってもらった, then that implies that I asked her to buy one and then she bought it for me. So Japanese people differentiate these forms instinctively. So if you ask a Japanese person the difference, they might not be able to explain this. Also, when we say お母さんにパソコンを買ってもらった, it's not like I really want you to know that I begged her or I asked her. It just comes out instinctively. So the sentence 彼女が晩ご飯を作ってくれた, again, sounds like she did it because she's nice. You know, it's not like I asked her, I came home and the food was already ready. But if I say 彼女に晩ご飯を作ってもらった, that implies that I asked her to make it, or I kind of made it clear that I'm really tired and I don't want to cook. I could be like, oh, 疲れた, I'm so tired, and then cooks for me. Then I probably would feel like I kind of made her cook. Not like I forced her to make dinner, but you know, I kind of made it clear that I didn't want to cook, and then she did it. So I'd say 彼女に晩ご飯を作ってもらった. Or maybe I just asked her, can you make dinner for me? And then she did it. 彼女に晩ご飯を作ってもらった. Then you might be thinking, to say thank you for teaching me, should we use もらう then? Because often students ask the teacher to teach, and the teacher teaches them. right? But now when you want to say thank you for doing something, you always say てくれてありがとう. We don't say てもらってありがとう. So a lot of textbooks make it seem like てくれる and てもらう are interchangeable, but there is a difference, right? I mean, at the end, when you translate it into English, they mean the same, but there is a difference. But that tiny difference of the nuance can make you sound more natural. But there is also a difference that when someone did something for you and you think that's a nice gesture, but you don't want to tell who did that, you can only use てもらう. So like, instead of お母さんがパソコンを買ってくれた or お母さんにパソコンを買ってもらった, I can also just say パソコンを買ってもらった. Then that means someone bought me a computer. So if you're a secretive person, you don't want to say that you bought it for yourself because that would be a lie. But you don't want to say who gave it to you. You can use this てもらう. So パソコンを買ってもらった. That means someone bought me a computer. Or I got a computer. It's kind of the same in English. When you say I got a computer, it could mean that I received a computer or I bought a computer, right? And it can do kind of the same thing in Japanese. You say 買ってもらった, and that means I didn't buy it for myself. Someone did, but I'm not telling you who. If someone says 買ってもらった, you could ask 誰に買ってもらったの? Like who bought it for you? But yeah, maybe that person won't mind telling you, or they might, I don't know. Or the speaker simply thinks that that information is not necessary. It's not like a sugar daddy bought the computer. Maybe my mom bought it, but I just don't think I need to say that it was my mom. Then I can just say パソコンを買ってもらった. パソコンを買ってもらった. So when you want to say I was invited by someone, you can either say someone が誘ってくれた. 誘う is the verb to invite. So like 誘ってくれた. おさくらちゃんがパーティーに誘ってくれた. And that means Sakura invited me to a party. I can also say Sakura にパーティーに誘ってもらった. But it kind of sounds like Sakura said she's going to a party and I was like, いいな, I'm jealous. 私も行きたい. I want to go too. And Sakura's like, okay, 一緒に来る? Do you want to come with me? And then it's more like Sakura にパーティーに誘ってもらった. Because I kind of asked her to invite me. But if I don't want to say who invited me, I can't use てくれる because てくれる has to be used when the listener knows who did that for me. So I can say パーティーに誘ってもらった. パーティーに誘ってもらった. I mean, I was invited to a party. Someone invited me to a party. Like someone says, 嬉しそうだね. 嬉しそうだね. You look happy. And I can be like, パーティーに誘ってもらったの. パーティーに誘ってもらったの. I was invited to a party. Or someone invited me to a party. This doesn't mean that someone dodgy invited me to a party. It just could mean that the person who asked me doesn't know my friend. I mean, of course I can say 友達にパーティーに誘ってもらった or 友達がパーティーに誘ってくれた. But if the speaker doesn't feel like that information is necessary and he or she just wants to say that he or she was invited to the party, they could just say パーティーに誘ってもらった. パーティーに誘ってもらったの. But there is another way to say I was invited. You can use the passive form. So I already made a lesson on the passive form too. You change the last u sound of the verb into あれる and you get the passive form, right? Like 見る to see becomes 見られる. Then that means to be seen. Like someone に写真を見られた literally you could translate like that photo was seen by someone, or it could just be like someone saw the picture and I don't like that. So if you've seen my lesson on the passive form, you should know that the passive form is used when the speaker doesn't like the fact that someone is doing that to the speaker. Like 彼氏に携帯を見られた. So when you use the passive form for the sentence I was invited, like you could technically say 誘われた, right? I was invited. パーティーに誘われました. It can mean something neutral, like I was invited to a party. But maybe depending on the way you say it, it could sound like, oh, I didn't want to go, but now that I'm invited, I kind of have to go. Then, yeah, you'd say, 桜にパーティーに誘われた. Maybe Sakura invited me to her birthday party, but for example, it was a disaster last year and now I don't want to go, and I was hoping that she wouldn't invite me again, but she did. You can say, Sakuraにパーティーに誘われた. So that passive form can give you that nuance, right? So to avoid that, like you want to say that it's good that I was invited. You can say 桜がパーティーに誘ってくれた。or 桜にパーティーに誘ってもらった。Alright, now let me explain how to use てあげる。So あげる means I give something to someone, right? So when you say something or あげた, usually it means I gave something to someone. So when we use this verb あげる, the subject is usually 私, I, or somebody, right? So do you remember in the previous video I explained that you can only use this verb あげる when I give someone something, or I give you something, or someone gives someone else something. It can never be used when someone gives me something, right? Or when someone gives my family or someone I'm close to something. We also don't use the verb あげる, but we use the verb くれる. Like we had a sentence like Mr. Tanaka gave my son a t-shirt. We said 田中さんが息子に T シャツをくれました。田中さんが息子に T シャツをくれました。をくれた informally. Although my son is not 私, me, I would still use the verb くれる when somebody gives something to my family or someone I'm close to. So the same rule should be applied when using てあげる. We only use てあげる when I do something nice to somebody, or somebody is doing something nice to somebody else, not someone doing something nice to me or someone doing something nice to my family. In those cases, you want to use てくれる or てもらう. So first, when somebody does something nice to somebody else, you always use てあげる. Only when the speaker finds that action nice there. For example, Mario saved Peach, and I find that very nice of Mario. Then I would use てあげる. So I said, マリオはピーチを助けてあげた。マリオはピーチを助けてあげた。Mario saved Peach. So Mario did that for Peach, right? By the way, 助ける means to save someone's life, usually. A lot of learners tend to use the verb 助ける to mean like to help someone with their homework. But 助ける is more serious, like saving someone. So don't use 助ける for like helping someone move or helping someone with their homework. You want to use the verb 手伝う, 手伝う. Like Mario helped Peach with her homework, for example. You'd use the verb 手伝う. So the verb 手伝う the u ending becomes small 2 plus て right? So 手伝ってあげる is how we say someone or I help somebody else. So マリオはピーチを手伝ってあげた then that just means that Mario helped Peach with something small. Not that small, like it could be like, you know, carried something really, really heavy, but it's not like he saved her life, then you'd use the verb 手伝う. For example, when you say to help someone with their homework, in English you say with, but in Japanese we say somebody の宿題を手伝う. Somebody の宿題を手伝う. So you can say マリオはピーチの宿題を手伝ってあげた。マリオはピーチの宿題を手伝ってあげた。This construction can be seen in other verbs like 持つ to hold or carry, 運ぶ to carry usually something heavy, and 直す to fix, like to fix someone's computer, you say someone の something を直す. For carrying, you say someone の something を持つ or 運ぶ. Like マリオはピーチのカバンを持ってあげた。マリオはピーチのカバンを持ってあげた. So we say Mario held Peach's bag. ピーチのカバンを。たけしはかすみのパソコンを直してあげた。たけし fixed Kasumi's computer for her. So as long as we find that action nice, we use てあげる, right? Like you can say たけしはかすみのパソコンを直した. But this doesn't add the nuance of like, oh, how nice of him. So if you want to sound more natural, you can start using this てあげる. So now, when you use あげる about the speaker's action, so when you want to say, I did something nice for somebody else, we'd again say blah blah てあげる or てあげた, because overusing てあげる about your own action can make you sound a bit without swearing, maybe like a, I don't know, arrogant person, or it just makes you sound like you're so full of yourself, like you think you are so nice, you're so great. It's actually really funny because if you watch anime and you find a female character that is like always like, I'm so nice, I'm always doing something great, that character usually uses てあげる all the time. So for example, I made dinner for my boyfriend. I can say 彼氏に晩ご飯を作ってあげた。彼氏に晩ご飯を作ってあげた. That means I made dinner for my boyfriend, right? And it's fine if you say that. It doesn't make you sound like a bad person, as long as you don't overuse it. If you just thought that's a nice thing to do, you can just say that. And you know, making dinner for someone is nice. But for example, a really popular girl in anime could be like, 前田くんと話してあげた。前田くんと話してあげた。And that means I talk to 前田くん because I'm so nice. So for example, that speaker thinks 前田くん, for example, is not really popular, not cool enough for her. And she's like, I'm nice, so I'm going to talk to him. So then that girl could say, 前田くんと話してあげた. Because I'm so nice, I talk to everyone. Or 友達のプロフィールの写真にいいねをしてあげた. Or really bitchy person could be like, I will eat that cookie so you won't get fat. You could say, あんたが太らないようにそのクッキー食べてあげる。あんたが太らないようにそのクッキー食べてあげる。 So あんた is kind of a rude way to say you. あんたが太らない comes from the verb 太る to get fat. 太らない、negation, not get fat. 太らないように I have to make a lesson on this, but when you want to say so that someone doesn't do something, you'd say negation plus ように so that you won't get fat. You say 太らないように I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean so that you, could mean so that I won't get fat. 太らないようにそのクッキー that cookie you have 食べてあげる食べる to eat and then てあげる I do something for you. I think that's a nice thing to do. Or to a skinny person, you could be nasty like 痩せないようにたくさんご飯作ってあげたよ I made lots of food for you so you won't lose any more weight. So this てあげる can be really good for, you know, nasty passive aggressive people. I mean, I don't know if it's passive aggressive, it's just aggressive. But yeah, 痩せない is a negation of the verb 痩せる to lose weight. 痩せないように so that you won't lose weight. たくさん a lot ご飯を作ってあげた So as you can see, you gotta be careful when you use あげる right? But you can definitely use てあげる when you do something nice. If you fix your friend's computer, that's really nice of you. You should say 友達のパソコンを直してあげたお友達のパソコンを直してあげました formally. Or I cleaned my son's room for him. You'd say 息子の部屋を掃除してあげた息子の部屋を掃除してあげた息子 son 部屋 room 掃除する is to clean and てあげた I did that for him. If you have thought, wait, can you use てあげる when you talk about your family? Yes, you can, as long as the subject is I. So like, I doing that for my family, I can still use てあげる. But you can't use てあげる when somebody else does something nice to my family. Like, let's say Mr. Tanaka cleaned my son's room. We would have to say 田中さんが息子の部屋を掃除してくれた。お田中さんが息子の部屋を掃除してくれました。So just for you patrons, I'll give you more examples for you to practice. Do you know how to say to treat someone? We use the verb おごる、おごる、おごる。So when you want to say my friend treated me, you can say おごるよ to mean it's my treat or it's on me. So if you want to say my friend treated me to dinner, which one should we use? てあげる、てもらう、てくれる We would use てくれる in this case because I want to say my friend treated me. So when you use the verb くれる we usually use the particle が right? So we'd say 友達が and then dinner 晩ご飯を and then the verb おごる to treat should be in the て form. So おごってくれた友達が晩ご飯をおごってくれた If you say 友達に晩ご飯をおごってもらった it might sound like I kind of made it clear that I don't have money. Like I open my wallet and like then my friend is like it's alright, it's on me. You could say 友達に晩ご飯をおごってもらった But if my friend just offered me anyway, I would say 友達が晩ご飯をおごってくれた What about I lent a book to my friend and I think that's nice of me. Like the friend really wanted to read it and I'm like Alright, this is kind of an important book for me, but I lent it because you're my friend, sort of thing. So because I'm doing something nice this time, we want to use てあげる, てあげる. Do you know how to say to lend? We say someone に something を貸す, 貸す. Everyone gets confused with the word 返す to return and also 借りる to borrow. And it is hard to remember because I myself struggled with memorizing to borrow, to lend. So I feel you, but yeah, try memorizing them. 貸す to lend, 借りる to borrow, 返す to return. Anyway, we want to use the verb 貸す this time. So first we want to say to my friend. 友達に 友達に and then a book. 本を and then I lent it for him or her. 貸してあげた. 友達に本を貸してあげた. So 貸す す ending verbs should always change like して. So 貸してあげた. I lent it. So instead of a book, it could be money as well. You could say 友達にお金を貸してあげた. 友達にお金を貸してあげた. What about my mom picked me up from the airport because I asked her. So do you know how to say to pick someone up? If you go pick someone up, you say someone を迎えに行く. Someone を迎えに行く. But if someone comes to pick me up, we would say someone は or someone が迎えに来る. 迎えに来る. So my mom came to pick me up from the airport. We want to use the verb 迎えに来る. And also she's doing it because I asked. We want to use てもらう, てもらう. And when we use the verb もらう, which particle should we use to indicate who is doing it for me? We say someone に something をもらう, right? I receive something from someone and I'm receiving the favor from my mom. So we want to say お母さんに. And then in English you can say to pick someone up from somewhere, but in Japanese we say to come or to go to a place to pick someone up. So in this case we want to say place に迎えに来る for someone comes to pick me up. So airport we say 空港, 空港. So 空港に迎えに来る means someone comes to pick me up from the airport. Or like someone comes to the airport to pick me up. And then we want to attach てもらう, てもらった in the past tense with the verb 迎えに来る, right? But 来る is an irregular. Do you remember how 来る should change into the te form? We say 来て, 来て. So 迎えに来てもらう is how we say to have someone pick me up or someone picks me up because I asked. So the whole sentence should be お母さんに空港に迎えに来てもらった。お母さんに空港に来てもらった。But like I said, if you are the one who is picking your friend up, for example, you want to use the verb 迎えに行く and then also てあげる because you are doing someone a favor. So you'd say 友達を迎えに行ってあげた。友達を迎えに行ってあげた。Then that means I went to pick my friend up. By the way, if you want to say, can you pick me up? You can simply use くれる in the question and say 空港に迎えに来てくれる 空港に迎えに来てくれる Can you come to the airport to pick me up? Or if you want to say, Can you correct my mistake? You could say, 間違いを直してくれる間違いを直してくれる Or simply, Can you help me? You can say, 手伝ってくれる手伝ってくれる Alright, I hope you found this lesson helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and also please consider supporting me on Patreon because I put more example sentences and explanation in a video exclusive to patrons. Alright, thank you so much for watching. じゃあまたね。バイバイ。